I've been out singing songs, yelling words that I want to say. People that started listening, they even gonna try to pay. Only been out the weekend, feels like it's been a year.
Yeah, we didn't have any bubble stuff, so it's just gonna be straight water. That's all right.
Yeah, that's all right.
We haven't been shopping or anything. So,
no, I get that. I did an interview with Mark Harmeyer the other day, and he actually was in his bathtub without any water.
Oh yeah, there you go. Well, I for sure have water in here. Just take it a while.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good though. We'll call that good. All right, I'm climbing here. Okay. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I've never gotten in a bath in jeans before, but
it's a little awkward.
Yeah, it's kind of comfortable actually.
Yeah.
Is this kind of view all right?
Yeah, we're good.
Perfect.
What did your wall say back there? What's up? What up?
What's up? Yeah, we only have one of each letter, and so we had to make do. I was gonna try and write like a funny message, but it didn't have enough letters, so I just had to go with that. But we got plenty of bath toys, that's for sure.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, this is my kids' bathroom. We don't have a bathtub in our restroom, so it's good stuff.
Yeah. Man, I'm looking at your drink there. I forgot mine on the counter over there.
Oh yeah.
Now I'll track water all across everywhere with these wet clothes. So.
Yeah, no worries at all.
So, how have y'all been doing? COVID's kind of throwing a wrench in everybody's life right now. How's it affecting you?
Yeah, it hadn't been the best really. Yeah, pretty much all April shows are gone, and most of the May shows are going to be gone. But luckily, all the big ones have like rescheduled till later in the summer or fall, and so they'll be there eventually. They're just not there right now, and so for now though, we're doing good. I think. Yeah, I'm kind of viewing it as an opportunity to try and like learn new things and get really creative with how we kind of treat this as a career or whatever.
Right.
So far, it's gone great. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's scary and spooky, but there's a lot of good stuff that's coming from it too. So it's been good.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the family time.
Sure.
There's some extra. I always have a lot of it because I'm a work-at-home mom. But my 7-year-old's not in school right now.
Right. Sure.
And my husband's home a lot more than he used to be, just because work is slower.
Sure.
What
does he do? What's your husband do?
He's a crane operator.
Oh wow! Dang.
So and like he's in the oil field kind of, but not. So the jobs that he's usually on, they're getting natural gas out of the ground. It's not oil, right?
Yeah.
But like a lot of the jobs that his company does jobs for is oil field. So it's like the company as a whole has kind of slowed down. And so like they're kind of having to share the jobs with everybody to make everybody's money go far enough. So anyway, so like the extra family time has been kind of chill. I like all the extra, how y'all are getting super creative online. That's been pretty cool. Getting to see like a different concert every day, without leaving the house. But speaking of, you've been doing Corona Town.
Uh-huh.
Can you kind of explain that for anybody that maybe hasn't caught it yet?
Sure. Yeah, it's I probably could have thought of a better name. Like I should have probably thought about that a little bit better, but I thought it was pretty relevant. But kind of what I wanted to do and still in the process of trying to figure out how to make it happen is not just really make it like a live stream, like a show where it's kind of a one-way thing and I'm sitting there playing songs and basically ignoring everyone at home who's like watching it.
Right.
Which is, it's fine, and like I'm gonna do some like that too, but kind of what I wanted to create is kind of like an online, more of like a hangout, like kind of a fun thing, and almost kind of like a channel, like a live YouTube channel almost, like kind of what you're doing, just more live, and so basically what I want to do is, you know, create these videos that are interesting and like are going to give someone an opportunity to kind of unplug from whatever is stressing them out in their lives for a couple hours, and whether it's playing music or, you know, making a poster or you know, I've got all kinds of ideas of what stuff I want to do, but I'm like trying to learn how YouTube operates. I think I saw you're kind of dealing with that as well, as far as what I can do and what I can't do. But yeah, it's basically where people, if they have money and can donate, you know, obviously I'll take it and I'm super appreciative. But it's more a thing of like, I want to create something where people can come hang out and have a dialogue with me, and then also a dialogue with each other in the same kind of time frame. And yeah, kind of like a little spot to escape to. And so it's kind of just a fun, weird, like kind of quirky thing that I'm trying to do. And so far it's gone great. I've been really pumped with how it's gone, and everybody's been really supportive. And so we'll see how it goes from here. I mean, it just kind of depends how long this whole thing lasts, but I kind of still am probably going to keep doing this even after this COVID stuff's over with, just because I think it's fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that you and some of the other artists in the scene, stick to it, because like I said, it's, you know, I used to go to a show at least once a week, and now I have two small babies at home, so that doesn't really fly anymore.
Sure.
You know, it was super easy to get somebody to come watch a 7-year-old, but not like, hey, can you watch all three of these kids? And so like I've really enjoyed being able to see a concert every night, basically. You know, like if I have time to sit down and look at my phone, there's several people to pick from, so that's that's been pretty cool. And I was kind of hoping that some of those stick around, you know, after this.
For sure.
That everybody doesn't get so busy on the road that they don't care about social media anymore. Yeah. But yeah, I tried to tune in to your when you were doing a live to make those posters, because you had made something, I think maybe t-shirts before, using those stamps, like a couple of months ago. And I wanted to learn how to do that, because like I'm a super creative, like I can, any kind of arts or crafts or anything, I can figure out how to do it. Well, anyway, you were making those posters, and I was like, man, I've never carved a stamp before. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I tuned into the live to watch that, but I guess like the one that you put on YouTube was a different camera than the one that was streaming the live thing. Because when I turned into the live, it looked like it was just like filming a wall.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, I was able to see it on YouTube, and that's kind of exactly how I thought that you would carve a stamp. So
for sure,
love
yeah.
It's
really, if you can figure out a way to like get whatever your image onto the mat or whatever you're doing, like it's super simple. And but yeah, that one was a blast for sure. Just because I'm a big fan of like doing stuff the old school way, and so like there's a guy named Dirk Fowler out of Lubbock who's like the king of like doing like wood block posters, and like really cool posters, and like you can always just tell a poster that was done with the real thing, like ink, versus one that was just printed, which I do a ton. You know, I was talking a lot of crap on Kinko's in the live stream, but I use Kinko's all the time because they're really easy and like, they're really good. But when you want to do something special, like it's really easy to tell like the difference between what was like hand done and which one a robot did, basically. So yeah.
Definitely. Have you ever tried to stamp any of those onto a t-shirt?
No, and I might do it. I've screen printed shirts before. When I lived in Lubbock, before I had any buddies in the kind of the merch game, I bought all the stuff to like screen print shirts, and that's a lot of fun too. But I think the stamp would work as well. I think I'd have to get some different ink than what I'm using. The ink I use is kind of more like paper, but it's the same. It's the same concept, really.
Yeah.
I think it would work fine. Yeah, it'd be cool.
So I think I stumbled across y'all maybe 2014, 2015, sometime in there.
Sure.
When did you get your start in music?
Yeah. So I started writing songs my like sophomore year at college at Tech in Lubbock, and wrote just a ton of really bad songs, like really really bad ones, and that kind of went on for 3 or 4 years, and then I had moved back to Lubbock and had met my wife, or we weren't married then, but I met my wife then, and we had started going to this place called the Blue Light in Lubbock, which is like the place to see shows, and it has been for decades. And they do songwriter nights on Sunday nights, and I would go up there, and it was hosted by a guy named Kenneth O'Meara, who's a great writer. He lives here in Fort Worth now, actually, and then Red Shahan was the other host. And I didn't know either one of those guys, but the first night I played, Red came up to me and was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna get you a show up here." And I didn't know who this guy was. You know, it was just this big, goofy, red-haired guy. And I was like, man, I was like, sure you are. You know. But sure enough, he walked away, and 15 minutes later, he was back, and he had got me a Tuesday night at the Blue Light, and so. That was kind of the start of like actually playing real shows. I'd done like coffee shop things, and I used to play like really bad shows at this place called Jazz. It's like a Cajun restaurant in Lubbock, and it was just like really really bad. I mean, great food and great establishments, great people, but it was not a good place for a venue. Like it's just too small, and then from there on out, yeah, just started playing the Blue Light more and more, and would play other bars around town in Lubbock, and then eventually got to the point where we were getting like Fridays or Saturdays at the Blue Light, which is like a big deal, like especially for a local band. To get like a Friday night show at the Blue Light was like making it, like you'd done it.
Right.
So yeah, got to play several times on a weekend there, and then by that time my wife and I were married, and we kind of decided that it was time to kind of find a new town. She had graduated from physical therapy school, and so she was looking for a job. I was kind of ready for a new challenge with the music stuff, and I was doing construction, and it just seemed like the right time. So we moved to Fort Worth, and that was almost 10 years ago. It was like 9 years ago now. And from there on out, it was just, we kind of started back over with the music scene as playing, just trying to get your name out there and get heard. And then from there on out, it was just steadily, hopefully trying to climb up, higher in the ranks and play shows. And then that's kind of where we're at today.
And just recently, you stopped the construction work too, right?
Yeah. January 3rd, which was like 3 months ago. It's kind of bad timing with all of this, but it's still,
Right.
yeah. I did, so I was a sheet metal worker, like, I did duct work for like air conditioning, like commercial buildings or whatever. And so I did that for almost 10 years. And it just reached a point over the past year or so where we had signed on with Red 11, which is like the booking agency that kind of has a lot of, the big names in this scene. And so they had gotten to the point where we were out pretty much every weekend, which was a good problem to have because we were playing a lot, but working 40 to 50 hours a week in construction, and then every Friday and Saturday being out, and then driving home on Sunday, maybe seeing my family for a few hours, and then getting up, 5 o'clock on Monday and going back. It got to the point where it was just too much. And so my wife and I we prayed a lot about it and kind of just looked about all the numbers and said, I think we can make this happen. It's going to be hard and challenging and scary, but we're gonna give it a shot. And there has been challenges, but it's also been super rewarding, like you talked about, the family time, like the quality of life just kind of gone through the roof. And I was, before all this COVID stuff, I was taking my daughter to school every day and helping out pick up my son from school. So it's really nice to be around them and then still go out and play these venues that I've always dreamed about playing, and getting to go open for guys like Reed Southall or guys like that. So it's been awesome. I can't wait to get back at it when this is all over with, for sure.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the dad videos that come out of that though, like on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Like one time you were cleaning out a fishbowl, and I sent it to some of my friends, and I was like, look, I don't know if y'all follow him or not, but like it's worth the Instagram stories. This is comedy gold.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. Penelope the fish, rest in peace. She's no longer with us, but those fish, yeah, I know. Those bowl cleaning videos though, that was fertile soil for comedy.
Yeah.
Sure. Because we would just wait too long, and it would just get so stinky. It was really, really bad. That could be why she's no longer with us. I don't know.
I think fish like murky water anyway.
Yeah. And what's wild is her name was Penelope, but it was always a boy fish, but he was purple, and so my daughter wasn't having it, so it was always Penelope, the girl fish. And so the joke between my wife and I was always that it was like Penelope's a boy, but yeah. Hopefully my daughter's not waking up right now. I don't want to crush her.
That'd be a bad way to find out about it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And you're also doing like Corona Town for kids, right?
Yeah, we did one today. We did one a couple weeks ago. That was actually my wife's idea of like, because we're the same way. My daughter's 5 and my son is 3, and so like we're all cooped up, and like we're extremely lucky. Like our house is way bigger than a lot of people who are like cooped up in it. We've got a backyard, and so we're really lucky. But even so, we're cooped up with 2 young kids who don't understand what's happening and get really cranky. And sometimes the days feel like they're like 38 hours long, as I'm sure you know. And so my wife had the idea of like, you should do one during the afternoon after nap time. And, if nothing else, there's an hour that moms and dads could hopefully. So the goal is just like to make something that kids would want to sit and like watch for an hour to give everyone a break. And my daughter, Austin, she's 5. Now she wants to be like the next YouTube star.
Nice.
So it's like a very serious deal of like, how are we going to get the most comments? We got to get more comments. And she's all about the comments. And so that's our goal, is we got to grow the comment number, It's really, really silly, but it's fun. For me, it's fun to get to do it with her. And then hopefully it's giving some moms and dads kind of a break every now and then. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, speaking of the day being 38 hours long, my best friend will come here to visit, and we'll get the kids fed, get the dishes cleaned up, and play with the kids, do some stuff, and then she'll look at her watch and be like, how is it only 9 in the morning? How we've already been up for 4 hours. And like, no, it hasn't been 4 hours. It's been about an hour.
Yeah, it goes so slow. That's what we and we always like our kids are at the age, or my son is, he's 3, of every single day during this thing. It's always, do we put him down for a nap or do we push through the nap and get that makes bedtime super easy and super early,
Yeah.
but you're gonna have to deal with a whole mess of problems if he doesn't nap. And so every day you just gotta make the big choices, you know.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
If that's our main problem we're dealing with, I'm pretty happy with that. So
yeah, same here. So have you, I don't know if this is kind of bad timing to ask, but so I ask everybody that's on the show, have you made it yet? Right? Because every artist kind of has a really different idea in their head of what made it looks like. Do you consider that when you were able to quit the day job and do this full time, or do you have like a different idea of made it?
No, I'm here. Yeah, I was here January 3rd, and so I would dare say I'm still here even throughout all this stuff of you know, my whole thing was making it was being able to pay our bills just from doing music and not having to like split my time between construction and music stuff. And so talking with some friends at my old job, they're still going to job sites every day. And so I can't even imagine dealing with the stress of like, am I getting my family sick by going out here and doing this to provide for them? Am I going to still have a music career when this is over? So to be able to have the luxury to stay home and like really put my mind into getting creative and to like creating income to pay the bills, you know, it's spooky, but I'm also using it as like a super fun challenge, because every day that I can think of something else to do that's going to be interesting to someone, to create value for someone's life, I think is like, that's a win for me. And so, I think as a younger man, I used to think that like having $1 million was making it, or, you know, being rich with a huge house. And that's just not the case anymore. My wife and I talk all the time, like, as long as we have our house and our kids are healthy and able to eat, then we've got it way better off than a lot of the world. So
Absolutely.
I'm super pumped on it for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
So are you working on anything new right now that's not Corona content?
Yeah. I'm having a hard time writing stuff. Like I've got probably 3 or 4 songs that are going to be on the new album, the next album. But I'm also writing songs that are like heavily Corona themed, because that's just what's in my mind, I guess.
Right.
So I'm kind of separating those off and like recording those right now, and like shipping them off to my band and letting them put parts on it, and then letting that be a whole separate thing. But yeah, once this whole thing is over with, a couple of weeks ago, we were supposed to go in the studio and record an EP of just strictly covers, but it was going to be kind of like we do a cover of Neon Moon by Brooks and Dunn, but we do it in like a real kind of funky like groove type of thing. And so we were going to go in and record this EP a couple of weeks ago and kind of put that out on Spotify and Apple Music while we're finishing writing the album, to kind of keep people, you know, so people don't forget about us or whatever, you know, stay relevant. And we didn't have a chance to do it before the lockdown. And so now it's just kind of like trying to write songs in the midst of this, and then also just keep the motor running. And so these little Corona songs that I've been writing, like I'm going to put one out on Spotify on Friday, and then just kind of let them trickle through to just kind of help get us through until it's over with, and then we can like put my mind back to where it needs to be to create and stuff. So yeah, it's hard. I thought, that it would be really easy to just unplug and like finish writing the album. But it's really hard to think about anything other than our current situation. And like, I don't want the next album to be all about Corona, COVID-19. Like, I would prefer not to have any memory of that on the permanent record that we're going to do. So it's like, but I'm also super thankful in that I'm learning a lot about like recording software and kind of producing music, like making music, and kind of the other side of it than the writing. And so, just trying to learn all I can while just waiting for this to get done.
Yeah, you're definitely making good use of your time from what we can see online,
Yeah, I'm trying my best. Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping that some people would put out some music, like if they're able to. But it sounds like you're trying to do that, and there's a couple of other guys that I've spoke with. They're doing the same thing. It's like they're all virtually recording with their band, different parts, and then just kind of keep it all together. I get the fine line though that you're walking. Like you don't want to like dedicate anything to the time, but you also kind of want to acknowledge it.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it's important either way. Everybody just kind of have to do what makes you feel okay right now.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Every time. So I've definitely enjoyed speaking with you today. Is there anybody that you would not recommend but challenge to be in the tub next?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like he wouldn't do it in a million years, but Red Shahan would be hilarious to see.
That would be awesome.
But he doesn't like, he's one of the funniest dudes I know, but he doesn't like attention, and so I don't think he would ever do it. Trying to think. Austin Mead would be a pretty funny one, I think. He's kind of a kooky guy. Who else? Dang, I just had someone on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. I don't know. I'll think about it for sure, though. I'll email you if I think of anybody. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and speaking of Red Shahan, I was going to bring it up before when you brought him up about Blue Light. Have you ever heard of Jeremy Cannell? He was opening for Red at Magnolia Motor Lounge in February. Blue Light. So good.
I'll have to check him out right after this. I know I've heard that name, but I don't think I've ever listened to any of the stuff.
So
yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will. I'll let you know when this is out, and I look forward to watching all your Corona shenanigans online.
Awesome. Well, I was watching. Yeah, thank you so much, and good luck with this series. This is a cool idea, and hopefully you get a ton of people in the tub.
I hope so. So far, so good. So far I think I have maybe 15 or 16 done. I tried to release. I was going to release like this binge release of the first 5 or 6 people. And then I found out that it takes like all day long to upload a video to YouTube for some reason.
Yeah.
And so, I had kind of put this teaser out that, oh, hey, these videos have been finished, and so I'm gonna release them. And it took like a whole week just to get 5 of them to upload. So
I'm learning a lot too of what you can and can't do with copyright stuff, and so it's a tricky ground to walk for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, and good luck, and stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.